Thank you everybody, I'm Peter, and today I'm going to introduce you to my childhood. This movie had a budget of $35 million and made around $86 million, putting actors and actresses like Daniel Panabaker into the wild success that they deserve. I think, I don't know, I didn't really look up into that. All I know is that I used to love this movie in elementary school. I rented a DVD at my library once by mistake, and then that was pure love by then. I used to rent it every single week, and when I didn't for a chew, then I would have rented for months, just having it and keeping renting it again and again. Will this movie have lasted the test of time?
In a world full of superheroes, there are two that stand above the rest.
So we start the movie with this narrator voice that will make even the most teenager superhero blush in front of. And we get to know our first glimpse of the lore of this universe, other than our two first heroes, the Commander and Jetstream.
His super strength makes him pretty much indestructible, and she has the power of supersonic flight along with the total mastery of unarmed combat.
One with super strength and indestructible, and the other one that can fly and knows martial arts.
By day, they live as Steve and Josie Stronghold, the top real estate agents in the metropolis of Maxville.
So they're not only some superheroes, but they're the superheroes around. Their cover is being real estate agents as a couple, because that's an American thing to do, I guess.
I have my own names for them. Mom and Dad.
When your parents are superheroes? I know, relatable. So yeah, as you might have noticed, this is going to be a movie about growing up, puberty, and standing up to your parents and friends and people around your expectations, trying to be you while you start high school. Teenager stuff. Relatable, cool, and can work. So let's see what they're doing with it.
Here we go. I just have one small problem.
So here it is. Our protagonist, for real this time, and he's trying to lift some enormous weights because his dad has super strength. I don't know why he's not trying to, fly, just jumping off his bed and stuff like that, but I guess he already tried that, or he just cares more about his dad than he does for his mom. He could have just tried to learn some martial arts. That could have worked.
Exactly what we want to hear. Well, that was Bert Timmerman, and he is buying the Colonial on Pine Terrace above asking no contingencies.
So if you still haven't noticed, his parents are like if Superman split into a DILF and
We haven't been to Hawaii since King Kamehameha set off that volcano. Think of it, Josie. You, me on the beach, no exploding volcanoes.
And this kitchen is filled with sexual tension. Super sexual tension. But while the father was already getting super horny, the mother reminds that, they have a son that is gonna start high school in, something like 12 minutes.
My toes already.
Will, it's gonna be down any minute.
Hey.
So while the dad who had just been cockblocked is coming to Will's room, our protagonist, he want to show that he's like a super strength or something like that, putting a lot of weights on the thing. And I don't know how should that trick the parents or not. Wouldn't it have showed if you had that kind of superpower? I didn't yet they have a talk, like the talk that you have with your parents at 13. I didn't, but if somebody did, I guess that they should have talked. But his dad starts the first cycle of pressure and anxiety.
Low weights, high rep, huh? Good thinking. You don't want to bulk up.
Well, he's like, oh, I thought I was just lifting out and making you proud. But his dad is still an aged Superman. And not aged like old man, but more like aged like fine wine. And he's still a good man, I guess. So he's gonna do a small talk to his son. Because who understands better a 14-year-old than his dad? Am I right? Am I right? I know I am.
On a more serious note, son. I know that every kid thinks his dad's invincible, and I nearly am, but who knows? Maybe the next time I punch a meteor hurtling toward Earth, I'll be the one who shatters into a million pieces.
I know that you might be stressed. You're probably very anxious about the start of high school. Also, you have a lot of pressure on you because you have two superhero parents that are like the most important superheroes around. So son, I just want to tell you that it's fine feeling like this, that everything will go okay, and also I'm going to die.
I guess all I'm trying to say here, Will, is it's nice to know that whatever happens to me, you'll still be around to save the world.
Looking forward to it.
We all are.
But in the next scene, we get introduced to the other first character, which is Will's childhood friend that from now on we're gonna call Plant Girl, because I never remember her name.
Good morning, Mrs. Stronghold. Morning.
Plant Girl, as you might have noticed from her green t-shirt, can control plants, while her mother can speak to animals, and that's why she's vegetarian.
I've got plenty of Eggs, bacon.
No thanks. You know how my mom can communicate with animals? Apparently they don't like being eaten.
How about some juice?
His parents get called for an emergency because there's an enormous robot in the city that is destroying stuff. They go to change. His father keeps putting pressure on Will, saying, okay, my boy, don't show off at school because, you know, you have two very strong and famous superhero parents, so everybody's gonna say and wait for you to be the coolest boy, but stay humble.
Hi, we'll only have one superhero parent, not two, so take it easy on him, huh? No showing off.
Will and Plant Girl see the parents destroy the robot on the news, and just to make the things a little bit worse for the start of high school of this boy, the news reporter makes a weirdly whispery and zoomed in comment that
The commander in Jetstream. What would we do without them?
I don't know if he's in love with them or just... By the way, they get on the bus to Sky High, and the bus driver hear Will's surname,
Will Stronghold.
and I think has a small orgasm right there in the moment. But in this mix of tilted camera shots, the bus driver changes his uniform and turns the whole f***ing bus into an airplane that he starts flying while driving off a bridge in construction, because apparently there wasn't space for the wings before doing that. But in the next scene, finally, we get introduced to Sky High.
Kept aloft by the latest in anti-gravitational propulsion. Location supplied only to a handful of highly qualified individuals such as myself, Ron Wilson, bus driver.
Which, if you didn't notice, is like a shield airbase thing, but turned into a school. And I love it. I love everything about this design. So the airplane school bus gets on the ground, and we find out they were all and only freshmen, while every other class was already at school. The bus driver, being the great and developed character as he is, gives his phone number to Will, just in case of emergency, or is gonna need anything, because everybody loves Will, and Will just wants to disappear in the crowd. So the next shots are just masterpieces of high school interaction in Disney movies, but superhero-like. A guy lasering a girl's butt and her instantly freezing them both. A group of cheerleaders welcoming everybody, but being actually just one cloned into many, and two bullies.
Speed roundabout, okay?
That are actually Flash and Reed Richards from the Fantastic Four.
Okay guys, very funny. I'll take over from here.
And why just a second before the freshmen were totally being ruled by the bullies, Will learns his power right here in this moment.
I know you're all going to love it here at Sky High. I know I have. I've just had the greatest experience and I've made the greatest friends.
Super erection for older women. So skipping through some scenes, we get to know our principal. Principal Powers.
And Principal Powers, on behalf of all the faculty and staff, you will go through power placement and your own heroic journey will begin.
And we get to know that the school works with a thing called power placement, in which everybody demonstrates their power and they get assigned basically to being some sidekicks or some actual heroes, and gets trained in two different ways. But who is gonna power place these kids? Not the principal for sure. That is gonna be the work of our coach. Coach Boomer!
My name is Coach Boomer.
I'm glowing.
Is that okay?
Get out of here, knucklehead.
So lunch break happens and we get to understand two other stuff. There's a guy whose dad has been imprisoned by Will's dad, and two, they cannot ever use their powers outside of the gym of the school.
You're not supposed to use your powers outside of the school gym.
Which kind of, I don't know, doesn't explain the initial scene, but I guess it's like this for the rest of the movie and it's actually gonna be a big plot point. But it wasn't applying when when you get into the school. I guess it makes sense from now. So yeah, power assignment happens even for Will. It tells the coach that he doesn't know what his powers are.
What do you mean you don't know what your power is?
The coach thinks he's joking. He throws a car at him, because again, that's the only way of verifying a power or not. Will doesn't die for some reason. The coach then thinks that he can fly, like his mother. And again, he doesn't die for some other reasons. So Will gets back home, and nobody wants to tell Dad that he doesn't have any superpowers. So much so that even the dad doesn't see the option itself. In fact, when Will comes home, he just invites him for the first time into the secret sanctum, where he may never, and I say never, invite anybody else, because that's the only family secret. So we get into the Batcave, which is mostly a man cave, since the dad stops only at the superhero equipment to say this is mom stuff.
You got a pool table.
Pinball machine. But here we got mom's stuff. Scientific equipment.
While literally everything else in this Batcave is man cave stuff.
Pinball machine.
So yeah, through the trophies we get to know that the father's proudest trophy is this weapon called the pacifier, which comes from the first time that Will's dad and Will's mom teamed up as, you know, a superhero team. Still, nobody knows what this weapon is for, and nobody can access this secret place, so that's fine for everybody. And we start the sidekick lessons.
Class, welcome to Hero Support. My name is All-American Boy.
And the teacher is the kind of teacher that shows meme into class. And we know what we say to those teachers. We love you, absolutely, because you're trying to do something that you don't really understand to appeal to the kids and your class. And we love you for that, please never change. Another sickest montage of the day passing by, with this fading effect, and you know, everybody's having fun, because the sidekick lesson looks like way more fun than any other kind of lessons. Everybody's enjoying their things. I feel like weeks are passing by, and for some reason, like, the dad isn't asking anything to his son. He's just like, oh yeah, this is probably a mega superhero school. Because nobody asks anything, until just that one evening where Will invite his lame-ass sidekick friends to his house to study.
Zombies charging at your hero. Do you hand him A, his silver-tipped crossbow?
So obviously, since the plot has to move forward, his dad comes back home in that exact moment.
So if you kids are all in here, who's out there saving the world?
And guys, did the dad ever say that one of his powers is Gaussian blur?
Well, they have really lowered the bar some for superheroes at that school since I went there.
Actually, they're all sidekicks.
So yeah, we get this whole scene, which seems like a coming out metaphor.
Good for you, son. Kid of your stature hanging out with a bunch of sidekicks as a freshman? And I can only imagine what your grandfather would have said that I brought some of them home.
You know, there's nothing wrong with being a sidekick, Dad.
But it's kind of cool, you know?
So then you would be fine with if I was a sidekick.
Oh, yeah, sure, I guess.
I am.
And what?
A sidekick.
The dad doesn't accept it first, then he gives all the fault to the school, he tries to call the coach.
I'm calling the school.
Hey, okay, I don't have any powers.
And it's a very cool and powerful scene, in my opinion, for, you know, a live-action Disney movie. And, you know, while the dad has some problems accepting his own happiness, Will fucking rules the thing. And that's the last word in the conversation, saying,
I'm proud to be a sidekick. Actually, I'm proud to be hero support.
yes! That's our hero. Or heroes. I'm sorry.
Saved you a pudding.
Hey, what's up? Hey, buddy, check this out. Whoa!
So the bullies make Will fall on the staring kid from before and gets mad for some reason. I feel like he was just waiting for that to happen because, you know, he just fell, he's literally on the ground, the lunch fell on the floor. Will is like, I'm sorry that my dad arrested your dad, I have nothing to do with that. And the staring kid is like, oh, you don't talk about my dad like that. He starts using like his fire powers that we just find out outside of the gym, which is against the rules of the school. And instantly that moment, everybody in the lunchroom starts to yell, fight. So more and more people come into the room, and while Will is in serious danger because this kid keeps putting everything on fire as everybody's worried and he could literally die, since as we know he has no powers, the bullies still try to put him in danger because fuck bullies. Unpopular opinion, if you're a bully, fuck it. I said it, I know, controversial, but I said it. So Will's sidekick friends try to protect him, putting themselves in danger, and making Will puberty things in his brain activate, and
Leave them alone! Strong? He's super strong.
he has superpowers! He has straight up superpowers! Or his exercises at home worked really well, so that's neat. So of course the static guy gets even angrier and more violent. Plant Girl gives a fire extinguisher to Will, and Will gets him to die on the floor, I guess, because, you know, fire extinguisher have a very high pressure and they can fill your lungs and esophagus and stuff. So I guess he died. So of course the principal comes and for some reason punishes them both.
I say, if you ever cross me again, I'll roast you alive.
Will comes back home in another scene, but this time he has powers, but not that fast because they still have to be good parents.
Story.
You nearly destroyed the cafeteria.
Sanctum. Now.
My boy has super strength. How can I be mad?
But we get to see that the eye that the dad got from the robot at the start of the movie is actually still active.
The boy has Stronghold's power. When the time is right, we'll have our revenge.
Who is spying on them? 2 Power Rangers villains, apparently. So the day next, Will gets moved to the superheroes, which if you didn't notice yet, it's a metaphor for the cool kids in the school, and he has to abandon all his lame friends, but that he actually liked, because, you know, now people know that he has mega superpowers. But not only that, he's specifically in the class of the hot older woman.
Come on. Come on.
Which, I don't know how it works. I thought she was like there to introduce the freshmen, but now she's in the same class of Will. Will totally lose all his blood from his brain. That goes right into his pants.
How's that?
That would only mean having to see you in summer.
You know, I can totally help you out with all this science stuff. I could be like your private tutor.
Cool.
And after some sexual tension between 14 years old, we get to see that the superheroes don't want to sit near the sidekicks. Because again, popular kids, lame kids. Will got from the lame kids to the popular kids, is the son, expectation, anxiety, high school. You get the metaphor, come on.
Maybe tonight we can go to the Paper Lantern?
We'll beat you and save the citizen. You lay off of sidekicks for the rest of the year.
If he loses, you can dunk Ethan's head in the toilet every day till graduation.
The lore of this universe in this school is expanding more and more in weird way. Because not only there's this kind of test that the whole school apparently gets to see, but there's like 2 contestants that are like the winner of the game, that can get to choose who they wanna compete against, and who wants to be the villain, who wants to be a hero, and the bullies instantly say, oh, we wanna be the villain, on which nobody stops for a moment saying, what the fuck? Why were you so blatantly choosing to be the villains? You know, you're in the heroes section of the school. I know that you want to beat up these guys, also be the heroes. Please make them appear in a bad light, no, not you.
Villains. A little stronghold and we pick peace.
But yeah, we get into the second fucking coolest scene of the whole movie, where there's like this whole fighting scene and Fire Guy and Will compete against the bullies, and it's like the scene that they used in the trailer on Prime Video where I watched again the movie, and it's so sick. Will uses his power well for the first time, and like he smashes the floor like his dad did the first time they teamed up with his mother, so I guess that now he's gonna marry Fire Guy, because that's where the metaphor is going over. So after this happy moment, we're just here waiting, okay, now we're gonna have the second happy moment, because Will invited Plant Girl to dinner to a Chinese place.
The Paper Lantern?
And we know that Plant Girl is absolutely into Will, while Will is constantly thinking about the hot popular girl and about superpowers. Because, let's remember, let's say it all together, his dick is full of blood and his brain is not. The hot older woman auto-invites herself at Will's house to have dinner, and her parents are just like,
yeah, this is the girl that I want my son to fuck.
Well, she's gorgeous.
And while seeing Plant Girl all by herself at the restaurant, we also get to know that Fire Guy actually works there for some reason, and is kind of a different person when he's there. He's all,
Hey, I was supposed to be meeting Will here, but
he gives tips and is like,
oh, you're here alone. Oh, I know. He's all into superheroes, but you're all into him. Everybody noticed that. Also, you want some free food because I work here and that's what I do.
There's Boomer.
She was a weird one.
Disappeared right before graduation. Some say she was recruiting villains at the school.
he gets so damn horny in that moment that it then breaks the light thing. Bro, you got kissed on the cheek and you're jumping and breaking a light thing. You know how much those things cost? They're surely more important than your horniness, I guess.
I mean the sidekicks. But honestly, do you think they'd have fun? A little awkward. Will knows you have a crush on him. Will's just too nice a guy to tell you he's not interested. You're just embarrassing him.
You do not dump me!
Just did.
You have to go to the homecoming dance. We all have. Introducing the world to the Stronghold 3.
The mom leaves the school picture old thing to Will, and he understands two things. His hot, popular girlfriend actually is like 50 years old, because she was the weird girl that dropped out before the end of his parents' high school, and second, while smooching with him into the sanctum, she stole the pacifier, which we just found out is her invention that she used the first time in which Will's parents collaborated against her. But now, look, Will apparently cannot fly and he has to get to Sky High at night. So, you know who he calls the best character in this movie? Bus driver. Yes, we want more bus driver and less hot manipulative girl in here. So, big plot twist of the century, the evil guy that we saw for the whole movie was actually the hot popular girl. That was the evil character, you know, in the Friends group, and was the evil character both in the past of the parents. So, she was just the red line of evil that people have been fighting for 3 generations here. So yeah, not only the sidekicks had all exactly the powers that they needed to save the gravity system technology thing, but Will goes full Iron Man in Age of Ultron and picks up the school in his hands and he flies it back into the sky. So they defeat evil 50-year-old girl, which Will was going to sleep with. Everybody gets turned back to normal. Fire guy gets with the ice girl, which could be the one that we saw at the start of the movie. The dead finally accept the sidekick and gives the award of best superheroes, whatever that was, to the sidekicks that for the first time equals
heroes.
Yeah, character development, Disney! I love this. So not only our boy Will got to learn where to put the blood in his body, in the final wrap-up we get to know that the bus driver became a fucking superhero. And
my girlfriend became my arch enemy became my best friend, and my best friend became my girlfriend. But hey, that's high school.
Because yeah, I mean, that's pretty much high school. So this was pretty long. I'm tempted to say, smash that subscribe button for another video and that like... do kind of whatever you want, because you know that's high school.